What's up, y'all? This is the MMA Addict making his first ever video. Just really wanted to make a video because I've been yapping about UFC with everybody in my close life, and in my inner circle, and people are sick of it. People are worried about the MLB and the Dodgers, and they're worried about they're worried about the NFL, and I'm sitting over here still crying because Max Holloway got knocked out. So I just wanted to make a YouTube channel just to kind of discuss different things with YouTube, my opinions, just kind of have it be a free open space for those UFC fans who are annoying their casual friends with talking about the prelims and stuff. But today I wanted to get into my favorite ranked fighters. I didn't include any champions today just because I thought that was kind of a cop out. Everybody loves Alex Pereira, so I didn't want to just put Alex Pereira as my favorite for that division because I can't have y'all thinking I'm a casual off of the off the first video. But first of all, for the flyweight division, Alessandro Pantoja is my real favorite, but because we're not picking champions, Tatsuro Taira, 16-1. He just had pretty much the fight of the year against Brandon Royval, where he didn't give up. That round 3 against Brandon Royval was legendary. He fought back, won the 4th round. It was 2-2 going into the 5th. Royval's an absolute dog as well. But yeah, man, Tatsuro Taira, what is there really to say? He beat Alex Perez and stuff, and he's just kind of been soaring through the division. Some people call him Border Patrol because all of his opponents seem to be of Latin descent. But yeah, man, he's just a really entertaining grappling style. For the people that complain about grappling within MMA, they clearly haven't ever seen Tatsuro Taira fight. An amazing grappler, an amazing fighter, and overall just somebody who I think will go on to be future champion. Brandon Royval even invited him over to his gym. And yeah, I just overall have loved his run towards the belt so far, and I don't think a loss to Royval is going to stop him for very long. Next up, I got Divison Figueiredo for bantamweight. I know there's a lot of good ones. You got Jan in there. You got a bunch of them. I'm rooting for Figgy to beat Jan. I don't know. I don't have a pick yet. Maybe that's a video that I'll do in the future. Is just a picks video. But so far, Divison Figueiredo would be who I would want to touch the belt over Umar, over any of those guys. Him versus Brandon Moreno is like a legendary four fight streak, and yeah, we got tired of it and stuff. But now, everybody thought Figgy was going to be washed because of his age, but there's something in the water over in Brazil, man. I don't know what it is. He was able to move up divisions, and look at him now. He's got all the success that you could want. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. Just overall, just looking like just breathing new life into his career, beating Cheeto, and he was the first guy to ever drop Cheeto, which that isn't talked about enough. Ilya Taporia just slept Max. Not to keep bringing that up, so sad. But Figgy knocked down Cheeto Vera, and I think that's pretty significant, and I think that's something that's gonna have to be considered as time goes on and the division evolves. But I think his hardest test is going to be Peter Yan so far, and we'll see how that fight goes. But overall, just Figgy always comes to scrap. Has a win over Pantoja, which has aged beautifully. Has wins over a lot of the flyweight division and stuff, and was a great champion there. And has only moved up and won on 300, and then won against Cheeto Vera and stuff. So he's been a pretty good and pretty dominant fighter so far. For featherweight, my favorite fighter ever, Alexander Volkanovski. I love him. Not to be a Lucas, my bad, y'all. Not to be a Lucas Tracy Glazer, but he is absolutely my favorite fighter. He's absolutely my favorite fighter ever, and that's just it. He has been so dominant within the sport, just absolutely tearing through all the opposition that he has needed to, beating the likes of Brian Ortega, beating Max Holloway 3 times is huge. Beating, let's see, who else? Darren Elkins, which isn't a crazy one, I know, but just showing you, I know names. I'm not just talking about the the mainstream guys. But Jose Aldo, just taking him out, like, he was on a crazy legendary run. Almost beat Islam. I don't know if that's a robbery or what. It was really, really close. But I don't like calling close fights robberies. He lost the fight, and that's how it goes down in history. But he knocked down Islam Makhachev, which is huge because Volk doesn't really knock people down so much, like especially now, like in his later career. But yeah, man. And then it's been hard being a Volk fan. I don't want him to fight Ilia Topuria again. I think he should fight Diego Lopez, and the winner of that could maybe get a title shot. I think that's fine. Or have Diego Lopez go up and fight it, and then have have him fight Mobzar Aljo winner, because then that would be a nice, easy, like he's not going to get knocked out by either of those guys. Like a good fight for him to come back and potentially win, and just prove that his grappling is still to a high level as well after the matchups with Islam. But yep, so that's going to be my favorite fighter who's not champion for featherweight. Next up, I got Renato Moicano. He cannot afford to lose. Man, Renato Moicano, a 25-1 record, solid fighter. Losses to RDA, but he stepped up. He was drinking beer and eating steak. He said it himself. He stepped up on really short notice. And that was like the last bit that RDA had in him. Unfortunately, RDA, his birthday was this last Saturday. Blew his knee out during the fight. Feels bad for the guy. But losses to Fiziev, and those are his only notable losses at 150s. I mean, he's been tearing up with Drew Dober, Jalen Turner, BSD. Like he's become somewhat of a force in this division, truly, in 155. I think Paddy Pimblett's a great matchup for him next. I think Beneil Dariush, I don't know where that guy went. I know he's been doing charity work and stuff, so good man. But yeah, man, Renato Moicano, he can't afford to lose. Dan Hooker's a great matchup too. Get him Dan Hooker. I mean, like, honestly, that would be very entertaining, striker versus grappler. And I think Moicano uses ground and pound more effectively than Gamrot does, especially since we've seen their most recent fights. Like, he brutalized Benoit Saint Denis, almost a 10-7 round, I would say. Like, I think it may have been scored a 10-8, but it should have been scored like a 10-7, like which doesn't happen much, but still crazy. Great fight, great fighter. I love his personality. I love that he keeps trying to take on the whole freaking government of no matter where he is. And yeah, I just love his personality, and I love his fight style. Another guy, very entertaining grappling. I did wrestling in high school, and I don't hate grappling at all. Grappling's dope. It's just not some people's versions of grappling. But next up, bro, I mean, y'all thought I was going to pick Shavkat. No, Joaquin Buckley, baby. Joaquin Buckley, New Mansa. I mean, what is there to say? He's on a 5-fight winning streak. Yeah, he lost to Nasruddin Imavov and Chris Curtis and all that, but that was at 180s. He's way short. He's way too short to be fighting at that division. Sorry, Joaquin, but way too short to be fighting at the division. And yeah, man, I think that the move was smart. I love this new division that he's at. I think that he beat up Alex Morono, that was like the last time Morono looked any good. He's been looking terrible since. Nursultan Ruziboev was supposed to beat him, and he took 4 amazing shots down on him. Knocked out Wonderboy. Sorry, Wonderboy. Feels bad. Love him too. He's a great fighter, but I mean, if we're making way for new talent in that division, like, yeah, Joaquin Buckley isn't new to the UFC, but he's new talent. So Tyler the Destroyer, bro. Tyler the Destroyer. Shout out Joaquin Buckley for making Chromacopia. Joaquin Buckley, he's the guy, bro. And then Kyle Bradho, bro. If y'all don't know about Fighting Nerds, you need to hop on the Fighting Nerds train. Fighting Nerds are taking over. They're taking over, man. Rufy, Prates, Barajo, Gene Silva. Gene Silva might be the only person who I think could beat. It's a little early to say it, but is the only person that I would pick to beat Ilya in the far future. But just because of his brute strength, which I think is Ilya's weakness. But that's for another video. But Kyle Barajo, an absolute dog. Has wins over Abus, which has aged very well because Abus has only lost to Strickland and him. Win over Jared Cannonier where he dropped him and pretty much punched him back into waking up. Like, it should have been a KO, should have been a TKO, but they didn't call it. Should have been. Like, poor Jared Cannonier. Feels bad for him. Knocked out Paul Craig. I mean, Paul Craig, not a great fighter, but I mean, if you look at his resume, he has a championship fucking resume. So that's fine. And yeah, he has good wins over a lot of the division. He goes to decision a lot of the time, which is fine. I think improving on his killer instinct is the only thing I would say he could improve on, but he's 17-1. Like, he's pretty undeniable. I think he would beat Imavov. I think he would beat Adesanya, which I know I might get comments about that, if I get comments at all. But yeah. But I think his grappling style and stuff, I think people think he's a striker because of his past 2 performances, but I think his wrestling's very underrated. And I think only like a DDP, I think DDP, Sean Strickland, and Hamzat are the 3 biggest challenges for him, just because of the wrestling from Hamzat and DDP, and then the clean striking from Strickland, even if it is just jabs and teeps. But yeah. And then for the light heavyweight division, y'all thought I was going to pick somebody crazy. Half of you, I bet you don't even know who this is. This is Azamat Murzakanov. He fights. I just wanted to throw one funny one in here. I could have picked Khalil. It was very close to picking Khalil, especially I was high on Khalil before his performance against Alex Pereira. Of course, I had Alex Pereira winning, but I was happy to see him go out there and put his and gain new fans and stuff. But Azamat Murzakanov would be hilarious as champion, because this guy just looks like a DC villain. This guy looks like he works for the Bane. He does not look like he should. He looks like he should be fighting in Pride, Pride FC. I don't know how he got to this era. Everybody talks about Muay Thai Beck Oralbai being ancient. This guy's from an ancient fighting club. He looks like he's part of Batman's Rogue Gallery. So I don't know, man. He has wins over Dustin Jacoby, which isn't crazy, but a good win, solid win. And then knocked out Alonzo Menifield and got his ranking. He's fighting Nikita Krylov next, which is going to be a hard fight. I don't know who wins that yet. If y'all want predictions, let me know. I can make prediction videos for events if I have time. I'm in the middle of studies and stuff at the moment, but I'm going to try and upload whenever I can. But yeah, I mean, very solid fighter, very good, very great record, undefeated, 14-0, moves like a welterweight, really. At light heavyweight, he moves so quick. I don't know how he can jump in and out of range with such a good, cool boxing style, but he's got the old put your dukes up boxing style. You put your hands up and you get in the gritty pocket with him, and he chases you out of that pocket with his strong striking. So I like Azamat. And I don't know, he's just funny to look at. He's funny to not, no insult to him. Please don't attack me. Please. But I mean, how can you complain? 14 wins, 10 by knockout, 8 by first round finish. He's a finisher. He's the professional. He's Azamat Murzakanov. Lastly, Alexander Volkov is the most underrated fighter in the UFC. He is one of them. He's up there, bro. Alexander Volkov is so good. He literally, most of his losses are to some of the greatest fighters in the UFC history. Derek Lewis, he beat the fuck out of Derek Lewis. I'm not mad. I'm glad that Derek Lewis got to have his funny moment on the mic, but he beat the shit out of Derek Lewis and then just got caught because he gassed out. But that was all the way back in 2018. People act like that's the same guy. He lost to Curtis Blades because Curtis Blades has decent wrestling, but he's improved since then. I'm telling you, I think he's improving. He lost to Cyril Gane, which is fair, but I think that rematch is going to be close. I might even pick Volkov, but then he lost to Tom Aspinall. He only has 4 losses in the UFC, and one of them was with 10 seconds left. And the other 3 are to the top 3 guys of the division, because Tom Aspinall is the real champion. John Jones is not the real champion. Sorry. Argue with a wall. But, man, Volkov has a win over Sergey Pavlovich. Everybody thought that Sergey Pavlovich was going to knock him out. He beat the shit out of him. And it's oh, yeah, Sergey Pavlovich got exposed. No, what about Volkov? Volkov looked great out there. He beat one of the boogeymen of the division. Volkov with a win over Pavlovich, Tai Tuivasa, Romanov, Jairzinho Rosenstruik, Marcin Tybura. Then he got Alistair Overeem. He beat a lot of killers. Steven Struve, which, yeah, that's not a crazy win, but Steven Struve beat Stipe Miocic. I mean, like, if you want to really MMA math this. So, I don't know. I think Volkov is very underrated, and I think he's a very good fighter. And I think he's just underappreciated. But all in all, man, I mean, if y'all wanted me to, if you guys were expecting this to go into the girls portion of the UFC, I'm sorry to disappoint. No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Zhang Weili is the only. Zhang Weili and Kayla Harrison are the top two, like, best women's fighters, and the only ones that I care about right now. Really, I do have a top 10 favorite, but not one that you all care about. So Zhang Weili and Kayla Harrison, the only important ones to me, and then obviously our wife Alexa Grasso. But yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for watching and stuff. Leave a comment and let me know if I can improve my editing or anything like this. This is my first time ever using editing software or even making a video. So yeah, man, tips, tricks, advice. If you don't agree with one of my takes, let me know. And yeah, man, have a nice day.